Alrighty then.
Thomas in San Marcos, Texas.
Thomas? Hi, thanks for holding.
Hey, no problem. I have a question, and I know that first guy it sounded like he had quite a bit of experience in philosophy. I have had one philosophy course, so I am not to be taken too seriously on the subject. But I was raised Catholic, and in the last month I've pieced together my atheism. And my question to you first is, do you agree with or subscribe to the quantum theory that there are more or less an infinite amount of universes or possibilities?
That is not what quantum theory says.
Okay, excuse me. No, it's a loose interpretation of Schrodinger's cat mixed with another one I don't know the name of. Not to say, no, I may have just misspoke, so I'd like to clarify. I'm not saying that there are infinite possibilities. The idea that one decision made left versus right creates, if you agree with...
You're talking about the many worlds hypothesis.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you make a decision, then the universe branches off into whatever alternate universes. So it's called the many worlds hypothesis for a reason.
Yeah, it's not called the many worlds theory.
And the hierarchy of knowledge in science, hypothesis is just the idea you start from, and then you work and you build your evidence, and it takes quite a long time before your work gets accepted as a theory, because once it's a theory, you actually have to be able to make predictions from it. It has to do a better job of explaining existing conditions that are observable than any other explanation out there. So, yeah, it's a hypothesis. It's led to a lot of really interesting science fiction, but neither of us are quantum physicists. I
don't want to jump into this as if I know what I'm talking about.
The trouble with quantum mechanics is that it has a lot of experimental results that result in really weird and confusing outcomes. And I do have some level of understanding about what those are, but people have come up with all kinds of ways to make a theory about what explains the behavior of things at the quantum level. But anytime you're going to say that something specific like the multi-universes idea is actually the answer, you're flying in the face.
No, sir.
No, but we're just giving this as an example.
Right.
Sure.
And then a lot of New Agers like to exploit the fact that it's really confusing. In fact, if I could quote Professor Hubert Farnsworth from Futurama, he said, as Deepak Chopra taught us, quantum physics means anything can happen at any time for no reason. That's really what a lot of people think about quantum mechanics, especially Deepak Chopra. But they're talking out of their butts.
Well, it's just a thought experiment based on, like you said, it's a very, very, in the beginning stages, if it ever becomes a theory. And
well, quantum mechanics is a theory, but the explanations for how it works aren't.
The multiverse or multiple, right there. Yeah, I'm not dissing quantum mechanics or quantum physics here. No, but my question to you is, let's just say that's a solid theory, as solid as any of our current theories. Would you believe in the possibility, not existence, but the possibility existence of some kind of, deity paralleling what most religions call God?
Well, I don't think it would be wise for us to accept any proposition unless there was solid evidence for that particular one. So let's say that the idea of multiverses ends up having some kind of validity, that there is evidence that can be observed and is consistent and can be independently verified, et cetera, all these requirements that science puts forth. That points towards the existence of multiverses. Well, now that would certainly be probably the most groundbreaking discovery we'd ever made. But it would still be a leap to go from there to deity in the sense of thinking sentient being. That would still be a proposition that would require its own evidence and its own.
I think what Thomas is trying to say is that if there are an infinite number of universes, then maybe one of them has a God in it. And I would ask, like, assuming there exist all these other universes with no God, could this godlike thing really be called a God if it didn't create all this other stuff that exists?
Oh, and that's I don't mean to say a God in that he exactly resembles the current.
Oh, well, I mean, if you're going to play fast and loose with the meaning of God, I could just say, well, I create my own simulated virtual universe like the Matrix, and I'm the God of that universe. Then I'm God-like, but I'm not God in the traditionally understood sense. You don't even need to go to multiverses for that.
Okay. Okay.
But no, so what?
I see my error there with if I'm going to take God down a peg, then it's not the same argument that I think it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so because, one, the multiverse theory isn't that well demonstrated, and two,
sorry.
Right, and two, even if it were, I don't think finding a godlike thing for very loose definitions in some other universe would really match the definition.
Right. Yeah, and I just wanted to discuss it with someone who would discuss it rationally like that. Yeah. And as I'm sure you can tell, I don't have a whole lot of expertise in religion, philosophy, or quantum physics.
Mm. Okay.
But it's a good idea to be thinking about these things and learning more.
Can I recommend the Feynman lectures on physics?
Those are always good.
Well, I appreciate your time, you guys.
Thank you, Bill.
All right.
Thanks very much.
For calling.
Thanks.